Good morning, buyers. So I get these questions a lot. Can I buy a house at auction? All these auction sales. Yes, of course you can buy a house at auction, but there are certain things that you have to know about auction sale before you go and buy a house at auction. You need to do your homework and make sure you're getting a good deal. So here are the things with auction. 99.9% of auction have what we call buyer's premium. That means buyers pay in addition to the winning bid an amount on top of the winning bid. And the buyer's premium can range from 4% to 7%. I have seen 7%, 7.5%. So whatever the winning bid is, you pay addition the buyer's premium on top of it. The second thing with auction is the buyer pays all transfer and recordation taxes. That means about the closing costs, the buyers pay all the transfer and recordation taxes. And depending on the jurisdiction, it can run between 2 to 3% of whatever the sales amount is. Auction also, the buyers have to close or lose their deposit. You don't have the option of saying my financing did not go through or the inspection has issues. You have some issues with the inspection, so you want to back out. No. With auction, once you win a bid and you put a deposit down, you either close or lose that deposit. And the auction deposit can run between 4 to 5 or to 10% of the sales price. Most of the ones that are done at the courthouse requires you come to the auction with a certified check. Actually, every live auction requires you have certified check in your hand for you to bid. And once your bid is the winning bid, you have to produce that, give them that certified check, and within certain days, make it up to 10% if your certified check is not up to 10% of the winning bid. So that's the thing with auction. So here's it. Let's break it down. Say, for instance, you went to an auction and you won a bid for of a house for 200,000, right? So the premium on that auction is 5%. So that means you have to pay another 5% on top of that on top of that 200,000, which makes it 6,000, right? No, I'm sorry, which make it 10,000. So your premium is 10,000 on top of the 200,000. You're going to have to pay all the transfer and recordation tax, which can run between 2 to 3%. For our sake, let's say it's about 3%. That's another 6,000, right? So the house that you bought at 200,000 is now at 216 because you have to add the buyer's premium and the closing cost of the transfer and recordation taxes. Now, if you're doing a loan, you're going to have some loan fees and title fees, transfer title examination fee, appraiser fee, title insurance. Those can run between 2 or 3%. For our sake, let's say it's about 2%. So that's an additional 4,320. So on a house of 200,000, your gross right now is about $220,000 on a house of 200,000 if you buy it at auction. So the question is, you want to make sure that the house is actually worth over 220,000 because you're going to have to do some repairs, whatever that repairs it, once you buy the house. So you want to do your homework and have a number that you're not going to go over once you are at the auction, because the auction can get fast and you can get caught up and trying to win a bid and trying to be competitive. But guess what? If you buy a house and you cannot close, you lose your deposit. Are you ready to lose about 10%? That's about 10,000, depending if the house is 200,000. Or are you ready to buy a house and you're coming in underwater straight off the bat? So it is very, very important that you don't get caught up in the auction frenzy and try to outbid somebody else. It's not a competition. Auction can be good for investors that have done their homework and know the numbers, and then have a set amount that they won't go over. I mean, people do buy houses at auction, but you just need to be very careful and know your numbers. I do not recommend auction to first-time home buyers because it can be overwhelming, especially if you're doing a loan. If your loan did not go through, you're losing that money. If there's some issues in the house and you want to back out, you're going to lose your deposit. Is really not a good idea for a first-time home buyer. But for an experienced buyer and for a house that has the equity, once you go to the auction, then it's a good thing to buy. So buyers beware. Auction is good, but do your homework. Don't get caught up in the auction frenzy. Fear of being left alone, left behind, or trying to compete with somebody else. It's all about your money. Once the auction is done, you're not going to see the person you're competing with again. So do your homework and have the numbers that you will not go over before you go to auction. Till next time, we'll talk about bank-owned homes. Ciao.